Just for a fun little distraction for myself, I thought I'd start a new series called 60-second reviews. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through Unification Wars and pick any kind of subject and then just do quick little reviews on all the aspects of that subject in 60 seconds or less. So our first one this time is going to be all the Inquisition races in the game, reviewed in 60 seconds or less each. If that's still somehow too long of a wait for you, I will also have timestamps so you can skip ahead to your preferred race. Alright, everyone's on board? Cool, let's get started. In third place, we've got the Sisters of Battle. This is, of course, the same race as what you get in vanilla, but, you know, given a couple extras here, you do get one extra commander and a new super unit, but for the most part, there's not a lot of difference between them and what you get originally. There is a little bit of detail work behind the scenes. You do get some better voice work in some places, and, you know, the UI and everything's been cleaned up, but again, gameplay-wise, if you've already played the Sisters of Battle, you've kind of already played the Sisters of Battle in Unification as well. Now, it's not to say that they're a horrible race or anything like that, but compared to the other two, they're not up to the same standard. They also do still suffer from the issue of the icon glitch. If you're unfamiliar, basically, if you build and cancel icons really, really fast, you can just keep pumping resources back into yourself because the refund is worth more than the initial icon. That still exists. They kind of tamed it a little bit by limiting you to 5, but the actual glitch itself you can still use to crank up your early game resources. Picking the second place was actually pretty damn hard because they're both really, really good, but I am going to put the Witch Hunters into second. Why would you pick them? Well, there's a ton of really cool stuff. They've got unique buildings, unique units, unique voice work, unique virtually everything. You also get a really cool choice where you can go further into the Adeptus Arbites or shift over to become more like the Sisters of Battle. They're actually both pretty cool ways to play. You have really cool options ahead of you. And they actually play surprisingly different. Like, the Arbites are more reliant on their vehicles and flooding the board, whereas the Sisters of Battle are more of your elite units, more of a slow anvil and hammer kind of playstyle. I love the Arbites too, so it was really cool to see someone give them this much love, and a ton of unique gameplay things are also added in for them too. Like, their builders are sentinels, just off the top of my head, which is a really neat little addition. They're a little bit weak compared to some of the other races on here, but they're not so weak that you can't play them. And again, it's totally worth playing them because they're so different and so fun. Which leaves the Demon Hunters for being our first place pick. Now, in addition to 2 different picks, you also have a third sort of optional pick down the road too, which is one of the reasons that they're in first. The other one being that the voice work and all of the sort of extra behind the scenes details are just a whole nother level for these guys. Virtually nothing in their lineup is something that you've seen in any other race. Now, the lineup can be a little skinny, especially in the late game stuff. Like, you have probably one of the weakest late games of every single faction here. But once again, it's not so bad that you have no hope in hell of catching back up, and it doesn't really detract from the experience at all. It's still an extremely fun way to play. And because of how varied all 3 of their playstyles are, you can essentially play this same group 3 different times in a row and have 3 completely different experiences each time. All these little details add up to give them the first place win and take this entire subject. But that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching 60-second reviews, and I'll see you all in the next one.